With the second half of the 2015 Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship in full swing, the stars and cars packed up for another highly anticipated trip to Knockhill in Fife for rounds 19, 20 and 21. A unique and undulating amphitheatre of motorsport, Knockhill provides a spectacular setting for Britain's top series, and a partisan crowd fill the spectator stands as four Scotsmen, including championship frontrunner Gordon Shedden, prepared for battle on the near 30-car grid in a bid for home glory. Qualifying on Saturday was a tricky affair as drivers jostled for space on the short 1.27-mile track. The Motorbase Ford Focus of Matt Jackson led the way for the majority of the session, but a late red flag brought the cars back into the pits and set the scene for a fast and furious 5-minute pole shootout. It was Team IHG Rewards Club star Andy Prio who stole the advantage, grabbing a second pole of the year ahead of fellow BMW man Sam Tordoff, with Jackson third and Knockhill specialist Rob Collard in fourth. In sunny Sunday conditions, Prio made a strong getaway, while Jackson blasted alongside Tordoff to second into turn one. Within just a couple of corners, the Ford was all over the back of the BMW and got a brilliant run into the hairpin to grab the lead. At the other end of the grid, championship leader Jason Plato made an intentionally slow start from his worst ever BTCC grid slot to give himself room to set a fast lap for race 2. The plan paid off, and with no ballast, he'd start the next contest from inside the top 10. Behind the front pair, there was some serious scrapping between Collard and Tordoff for third, with the former going around the outside into turn 1 to secure the place. This put the number 7 car behind under immense pressure, and a bold move by local hero Shedden at Clark's took the Honda into fourth. A few places further back and there was more drama, as an attempted move by the MG of Jack Goff sent local young pretender Aidan Moffat into a spin, although the Scotsman's day was to take a number of twists and turns before the final checkered flag. As the race reached its closing stages, it was poleman Prio piling on the pressure, and it wasn't long before he was right on the tail of Jackson for the lead. Dragging WSR stablemate Collard along with him, the number 111 car attempted a move around the outside, exiting the hairpin. But as he was squeezed onto the grass, it was the triple world champion who ended up losing out. Collard got the run into turn 1, and it wasn't long before he was through on Jackson for the lead. The Team JCT 600 with Gardex racer held on to take his third win of the year, and despite last lap pressure from Prio, Jackson scored a first podium of 2015 for Motorbase. With race 2 grid slots decided by fastest laps, it was Jackson and Shedden on the front row, with Rob Austin's Audi in third. As in race 1, Matt Jackson got a blistering start and led for the early laps. However, it wasn't long before the number 52 Honda Civic Type R was right on his tail. The 2012 champ was on the ragged edge through the first few turns of lap 5 before a superb trademark late dive at Clark's gave him the lead. The Flying Scotsman checked out at the head of the field, and despite a safety car period, comfortably took the checkered flag for his 4th career victory on home turf. Perhaps an equally impressive performance came from race 1 winner Collard, who, despite carrying maximum success ballast, was soon hounding Austin and Jackson for a podium place. It was a superb battle that saw Jackson defend valiantly into turn 1 for a number of laps. Following a safety car period, Austin made a mistake and allowed Collard through, and with a couple of laps remaining, he caught Jackson to grab a superb second place. After a delightful Snetterton weekend last time out, Colin Turkington's title defence took another twist as he suffered a DNF following contact with Andy Prio. The Ulsterman struggled to regain ground and ended up slipping to 4th in the standings by the end of the day. For the final encounter, it was to be an all-Mercedes front row for the first time ever in the BTCC, with Adam Morgan drawn on pole ahead of Aidan Moffat, who recovered from his race 1 incident to secure a crucial top 10 spot in race 2. The duo made a strong start, and 2-time BTCC race winner Morgan streaked away to an impressive advantage in the early laps. As the leaders were charging, podium scorers and earlier winners were all thrown into the fierce midfield battle, with Shedden, Jackson and Collard fighting with the likes of former Knockhill race winner Dave Newsham for a spot inside the top 8. As is often the case with race 3 encounters, there was a number of feisty moves for position, particularly from the BMW of Andy Prio, who nudged his way past Austin and Plato before setting off in pursuit of teenager Aidan Moffat, who was running in third. Prio made a tough move without realising there were yellow flags that caused the Mercedes driver to ease off slightly, and after the race the positions were reversed, handing the delighted teenager his first ever BTCC podium. The exciting day's racing was to be concluded with perhaps the overtake of the race meeting, as Matt Neal's Honda began to home in on Adam Morgan's Mercedes in the final few laps. Despite driving well all race, the Wix Racing driver was to suffer some bad luck at just the wrong moment, collecting debris that cost him time and put Neal within striking distance. As the cars sped towards the hairpin for the penultimate time, Morgan looked to have enough of a gap, but a sensational dive from Neal sent him sliding up the inside and into the lead. He held on to take victory and move himself into third in the drivers' standings behind Shedden and Plato, who, despite having a quiet weekend, only lost a handful of points to his rivals. Having given the jubilant Knockhill crowd plenty to cheer about, Gordon Shedden spoke to Louise Goodman as the sun began to set on Knockhill.
Well, Gordon, it's been a fantastic weekend for all the fans here, but a particularly good weekend for you as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been great, and it's been great on a lot of different levels. The results have been great. It's been great to get a win. It's been great for Matt to get a win as a team. For us to bounce back after what was a bit of a shocker at Snetterton was really important. But above and beyond that as well, I mean, the crowd have just been absolutely insane this weekend. The place is absolutely jumping. It's buzzing. It's like a festival atmosphere, and it's been amazing to be part of.
But it's put you back in the championship hunt as we head on to Rockingham. A very different atmosphere, a very different circuit.
Yeah, very different, but we had a test there maybe 3 weeks ago and the car was good round there. It's going to be tough in qualifying. I've got a lot of ballast again. Race 1's going to be difficult, but there's more than one way to skin a cat, so we've got to try and score the best we can over all 3 races. What
kind of car do you think is most suited if you look up and down the pit lane? Which of the teams is it going to suit?
I think there'll be a lot of people in it. I think all the usual suspects. I think that's the way touring cars is this year. The competition's coming thick and fast. You can't single out anybody, but we can't affect or change what anybody else does. All we can do is the best job ourselves, and I'm sure this little Civic Type R is going to be firmly in the mix.
Rockingham is, because of the way that the circuit's built, a massive bank of fans around half of it. Then you're off on your own for the other half, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is. It's a unique venue. Obviously, it's the only anti-clockwise circuit that we go to as well. So it does provide a slightly different challenge for for the engineers and for us to drive as well. But it does have a history of providing some pretty special races, and hopefully, or I'm sure it'll be exactly the same again there.
We'll see you there.
Thank you. Look forward to it.